I would always promote, and I would never, ever, ever tell anybody, even the least bit, that adversity is not something a person can use to excel. You need adversity to bring the best out of yourself, and you need challenges in your life to make you into the best version of yourself. Because if you're not hit with those things, then you don't know what's underneath that potential. You don't know who you really are until the opportunity comes for you to show your real character, and that's when adversity strikes. Hi, my name is Omar Abdallah. I'm 26 years old, the third youngest of 9 siblings, and I'm living out here in Ajax, Ontario. My parents, their background, they come from Ethiopia in East Africa, the Horn of Africa that is, and they came here to the US first, then to Canada, looking to help my dad get surgery on his hip. And that story, originally speaking, was just to get the surgery. And then before you know it, like, our whole family ended up growing up here and settling down here in Canada. My parents throughout their journey, going through the immigration process, living in Canada, having a language barrier, taught them a great deal of lessons. And through those lessons, they reiterated towards us as kids growing up, either by them mentioning it verbally, or even some cases, us just seeing it by action. In Alberta, that's where I found my first calling and first passion, which was football. I fell in love with the game of football there. Was playing since I was in the 4th, 5th grade. And from there I kept playing until my high school years and then collegiate years as well. And I ended up becoming a scholarship athlete. And throughout that process, school was still a forefront of my life. My parents came here without a great deal of educational background. So they always taught us at a young age that, education's your ticket and your key to success living in this society. And they knew that, coming from a minority background religiously and just the way we look, that things would be a lot harder for us in the long run. And so through that process, those lessons are always in the back of our head. Moving forward and applying ourselves in school and in life and in work. And through those changes, through moving and dealing with these different scenarios, it impacted me a lot in terms of how I became as a person and how I interact with people even today. One of the big instances that really affected me personally is that we did another really big move after we lived in Alberta. We went back to Ontario. My siblings were in university there. My brother received a scholarship at the University of Toronto as an athlete as well, as a football player. And so my parents made the decision to, relocate back to Ontario to, keep the family together. And myself, we came into Scarborough and I didn't like the place, to be honest with you. Didn't vibe with anybody, didn't get the jokes, didn't get the lingo, didn't get the slang or anything like that. What made matters even worse is I couldn't play football. Fortunately, my dad was still in Alberta at the time, and he was working and trying to sell the house. So I kind of made a decision with my mom, and I let her know that, football means a lot to me, and I think that this is my, ticket to get my education paid for. It's going to be something that's going to bring a great benefit to my life. I want your blessing for me to go back, alone, mind you, with my dad, but it just me and my dad back to Alberta, finish my 11th year and 12th year in high school, and then hopefully after that, try to get a scholarship. So I ended up doing that. My mom actually accepted. It made me really happy. Went back to my high school where I played football in grade 10 prior to us moving. And from there, it was pretty much me and my dad from the get-go, and he was holding it down. And it really taught me the lesson of independence. I went from being at home with my mom all the time. Mind you, we weren't coddled a lot as kids, but we did have support, And my dad, he was working full-time. He is one of the hardest working individuals, if not the most hardworking individual I've ever met in my life, and that I've known. And so for him, he was working 12-hour days, you know what I mean? Coming home, he would sleep a little bit, make his food, I'd help him out there, and then he'd go back to working. And I would see him doing that constantly, every day. And so when I saw him doing that, and I saw him doing this since I was a kid, he didn't have to tell me to work hard. I just saw him doing it, and I saw the effort he's putting in. And he didn't have to say a word to me, but I knew why he was doing what he was doing based off of his actions. And so for me, immediately it resonated to me what kind of man I wanted to be and what kind of person I wanted to become. I wanted to be just like my dad. That really shaped my understanding of what it means to work hard and what it means to be, a man in taking care of your business. Entering university, my number one goal as a kid growing up was, again, attaining a scholarship full time and not having to pay a single dime for school. So I wanted to become a D1 athlete. So I did everything in my power to kind of prepare myself for that lifestyle. Thankfully, with the hard work we put in, we won a provincial championship. I had numerous offers to play Canadian football, but I decided to opt out, and I wanted to go to a prep school in the US. And right, around August time, everything's set to go. My scholarship's set, I'm gonna go play. Literally right before that occurred, I get the call letting me know, okay, scholarship's been cut, funding's been cut, you can't go anymore. So now I was kind of in like a gray area, like, what am I gonna do? And that kind of left me in a crossroads of, okay, I had this plan that I wanted to play football, go here, do this. I had a roadmap, I had a plan, and it was just cut off. And so I was at a loss for words, honestly. But one thing I noticed in my life, watching my parents, is that when adversity comes and hits you, you can't just wallow in it. You can't just sit there and whine about it, but you have to be proactive when these things occur. During that year, I spent a lot of that time training, getting ready, and then I got the offer to go play junior college football in San Francisco. But it was foreign to me. I'm dealing with people from all over the United States of America that I've never met before, different cultures, different backgrounds. We all love the game of football, but everybody loves it at a different level, and there was no sense of camaraderie technically because everybody was trying to get out. Everybody was thinking to themselves, this is my stepping stone to get to my Division I scholarship. So it was cutthroat. Guys, like, you'd be buddy-buddy 1 second, and after that you'd be enemies. So for me, it took a while to learn these lessons initially because, again, like, personality-wise, I'm a friendly guy. Like, I'll talk to people, I'll help you out when you need help out, being helped out. But for them, some people saw this as a thing to take advantage of. So I learned very quickly that, not everybody has your back, and not everybody's looking out for your best interest. So for myself, I had to get used to that, and I had to realize that, everybody's not cut from the same cloth. So from that point on, I started really analyzing my relationships with people and seeing, okay, if I want to benefit myself, and when I get to where I want to get to, athletically and in terms of educationally and career-wise, I need to be prioritizing myself first and those whom need my help and those who love me and those who want what's best for me. So that's what I started doing. And when that became a forefront for myself in terms of practicing, in terms of doing my academics, things became a lot easier. My education was made a priority for me at that university. And being there and being acclimated with the people in this city, like, you felt a sense of, okay, these people care about your well-being enough that they want you to excel in your education, academically, as well as in the football field. And that's what made me, fall in love and wanted to go to St. Mary's, to go to that school. Every step that we're going through, or I went through, that is, like, there was always adversity there. There wasn't a point in time where, it was just complete, lull, joy, happiness. Because in reality, that's not really life is. Life is a lot of sorrow. It's a lot of happiness. It's a lot of sadness. It's a lot of hardship. It's a lot of ease. But the whole point of it is what? It's being able to roll with these punches and being able to regulate yourself in a way where no matter what's being put in front of you, you find a way to overcome it. And that's the difference between people who are extremely successful in their lives and people who aren't. And I graduated early in 2017, December, and I had a degree in information systems, and now I'm working in IT consulting in the industry that I actually wanted to work in. And those lessons that I learned in university, playing football, being in junior college, growing up as a child, all these things kind of led up to where I am today. Consulting industry after graduating at St. Mary's University. And other than my professional career, I've been volunteering a lot in the community. Myself and a lot of my friends, we coach football here at Durham Dolphins. I love coaching, giving back. Played football for so many years, and all that information and knowledge that I've gained throughout that period of time, even with the recruiting, with the not being able to get to where I wanted to, technically speaking, in my athletic career, I wanted to use that information to kind of help the next generation use those tools that I wish I had. I wish someone told me growing up to benefit themselves and to get themselves where they want to get to. And fortunately, we do have some guys who did play with us in Durham that are making the most of their opportunities currently. On top of that, I started my own business recently with my brother, a little family-owned business. We're starting up a pop-up shop called Crown Kitchen, serving, halal comfort food in the GTA. It's a small project thus far. The goal is obviously to get it very, very big. And we're serving any type of food you can think of that's considered comfort, fried chicken, mac and cheese, burgers, you name it, we probably have it. And we're just trying to provide food that has a little, East African twist to some great classics, and just to distribute and show that side of our cuisine from East Africa. And this is my perspective.